black. So it happens this way.
He's Jason Cole, folks. Jason,
Yes.
wait. Your thoughts on the NFL owners meeting, but specifically the Vegas issue and Mark Davis?
Well, I think this is a really complicated issue that, look, Vegas has all the momentum going right now. The question is whether Oakland at some point in time can stop that momentum and come up with a plan. So far, we have not heard anything out of Oakland that's concrete that says, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's the price of the land. Here's the deal that we want to strike. Here is the person backstopping the whole thing.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Who's the daddy warbucks in this whole thing?
Yeah.
Who's going to say, I'll make it all happen?
Yeah.
All right. Because that you have to have somebody.
Or Mistress Warbucks.
Whatever you
That
want to
could
call it.
happen.
Sure, absolutely. I don't care. If Oprah comes in and she wants to build a
Yeah.
new stadium in Oakland, more power to her, okay? But that hasn't happened yet. And until that happens, the owners have nothing in Oakland to sit there and say, okay, this is our alternative to Las Vegas. We will not go to Vegas. We will say no to what they're offering. Right now, again, Vegas has all that momentum built up on their side.
Do you think that, let me ask you, is there a precedent for the NFL moving from a giant media market to a really tiny one? Because Vegas is comparatively
Well,
tiny.
you have Los Angeles when the Rams went to St. Louis
Ah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. That's true.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah.
St. Louis made it very favorable for the Rams to move.
Yeah.
And probably at the time, the Raiders going from Los Angeles back to Oakland
Yeah.
at the time. So you have a couple of circumstances.
Did St.
like that.
Louis have to pay a market compensation fee? Because the
They
Constitution.
paid. It was like 50 to 90. There was a $15 million payment and then $95 million. But I don't know if that was. That's before.
Before, right? Before.
Well, before I was paying attention to those kinds of details. See, the argument about TV market compensation, I don't think applies as much because the Raiders are a national brand. Okay, and you're going to generate ratings. I don't think you're going to change your ratings for the Raiders games as
it's
much.
Not the ratings though. It's something called advertiser cost per ratings point. In other words, let me.
Well, there's local.
Sorry for the terminology. The bottom
There's
line
local
is-
revenue. There's local revenue too.
Well, if I may though,
Yeah.
the idea is that it's more expensive to air in a commercial in the Bay Area than it is in Las Vegas, and that inures to the NFL's benefit in terms of revenue. That's the point. That's the reason why I know that is because I made that argument when I was pitching the Super Bowl, and the NFL said, "Oh, you're right," and I just done research, but the illustrating with the chief operating officer in the NFL through a policy committee meeting in June 1st, they were like, "That's absolutely right." So, and that's where I never.
It's true, and there's no question about that. But I agree with that. You'd have to go in the figuring of what will be the relocation fee. What I was told yesterday from most people is that the relocation fee will not be anywhere near as high as what
Right,
the Rams had to pay. It'll still be substantial. You're still talking $200-300 million. That's not petty cash, okay? But that will probably be the relocation fee.
Who pays that? The Sheldon? How do we figure Sheldon Adelson into this with money laundering, and he's got a lawsuit current right now? I mean, no, the guy's a walking lawsuit. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Well, most rich people are walking losses.
No, but he's a huge walking
Oh,
lawsuit.
look,
He's gambling.
I'm not disputing any of that. There are sticking points with Sheldon Adelson being involved in the deal and in the NFL. But there's one thing that Sheldon Adelson has that the league really likes, and that's somewhere probably around $30 billion. And money talks, okay? And if he's the backstop for this project, they're comfortable with him as a backstop. Now, if they're talking about him owning part of the team, okay, that's where it probably gets to really being dicey and whether they'll allow that or not. That's a whole different question from him saying he's the developer, he's coming up with this, he's going to share in the site in terms of putting his,
He's coming close, but not going over the line.
there's going to be a line, he's going to be dangling a foot over the line.
Yeah, that's what,
Right.
which opens up a number of policy issues for the league. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but they're their policies.
That they can change.
Their rules. This is not the government.
It's like moving the goalposts, folks.
Absolutely. It is absolutely. There's no question. Moving the goalposts all the time.
Wow.
That is altogether possible. So, look, there's no resolution coming here. There's probably not going to be a resolution until March. I think there's adequate time for Oakland to get something done. I do hope, as I've said on Twitter, I hope Oakland keeps the team. But do I see that if you had to vote today, like if you were taking the vote today on where the Raiders play, today it would be Las Vegas because they put $750 million on the table, and that's very attractive. What's Oakland going to do tomorrow and in the coming weeks and months to get something changed?
In fairness, Oakland does have $114 million parked that for the last 5 years it's wanted to invest in the infrastructure around there.
Right,
So
but that's
like, that's been a key part of the plan for some time. For those who didn't know that, I might add.
Well, and that's nice to have $114 million parked there.
Yeah.
But that's a long way from getting a deal. That's a long way from $750 million. That Vegas has put on the table. I mean, again, none of this is none of this is insurmountable, but it's time to take action. You want to keep your team.
Right.
Come up with a plan. If you want to let them go, I completely understand if a municipality says we're not going to pay.
Yeah.
In fact, I respect that. But the fact is, another municipality has said, another entity, another government has said, we're willing to pay.
And like we were talking about off camera, it's just good economic development.
That's a really serious question. I know that all sorts of people say that teams don't generate revenues for local, and we're going to have that argument. But it's just like when one city says we're going to provide tax breaks to get this business to come. We talked about Lockheed. When Dallas tried to get Lockheed to move from Seattle to Dallas, they were giving them economic incentives. When the city of Orlando, over more than 40 years ago, went to Walt Disney and said, we'll give you all this land, build Disney World here, they gave them all sorts of tax breaks. They created a tax district that is completely run by Disney outside the city of Orlando. That's a very powerful thing. And basically what Las Vegas is doing is the same kind of thing to attract the Raiders because they believe the Raiders are important to them as an entertainment destination, tourism destination.
He's Jason Cole, Bleacher Report. He's also Jason Cole BR on Twitter, right?
At Jason Cole BR. There you go.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Go Bears.
Go Stanford.